Hi guys, I'm Forrester here, and we're back in Hangzhou, China. Yeah, this is probably our 7th or 8th visit. We've lost count. Now by the time you watch this video, we'll be back home in Columbia, South Carolina in the good old US of A. But we just arrived here in Hangzhou today, and it's unpacking time, and I was excited to start this video out by showing you something that I brought that hopefully will make this visit much more pleasant. And this was donated to me by Berkey Water Filters. This is their Travel Berkey. So we brought it with us. You can see it didn't take up a whole lot of room. This is one of a couple of suitcases that we brought. The other had our folding clothes. And this took up maybe half of this suitcase, and this suitcase would fit in the above compartment on the plane. So this could be carry-on. We checked it, but it could be carry-on luggage. I'm going to go ahead and take it out and set it up, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, here's the Travel Berkey put together. It took me maybe 10 minutes to put it together, if that. There wasn't much to it. These two parts fit together so they fit inside that one box. This upper one holds the two filters, and they're held in place with two wing nuts down at the bottom. And then the only other thing I had to do was just attach that faucet at the bottom. But now the only job we have to do is to fill it up. It holds roughly 1.5 gallons of water. It'll be several of these pots. And then I'll let it drain, and this is going to be the source of our water for the next 2 weeks. I do want to mention that I'm filling the Berkey up with tap water. So what I'll be drinking is filtered tap water. This is what I usually make my coffee and tea out of. And if you remember, in the past 3 trips, 2 out of those 3 trips I've gotten sick, and I think it's from drinking tap water. My wife got sick on the last trip. Hey guys, I just got back from a walk, and it's getting pretty warm out there. It was cool toward the beginning of the week. Now it's getting fairly hot. Now if I can do this one-handed, I'm going to fill this up with water from my Travel Berkey. Let me show you the color of the water to start with in clarity. It's very clear, and the taste is great. There's no taste at all to it other than just a clean taste. Very good. In the past, what we've done on previous trips is filled up our water bottles, or at least our hot pot right here, with tap water, and then heated it up to sterilize it. But that didn't do anything about heavy metals, and that's the thing I'm the most cautious about. And so we would heat it up in past trips, make tea or coffee out of it, and then buy commercial water while we're walking around. This trip, all we're doing is drinking from this Berkey filtered water, so we can make coffee, tea out of it. We can also fill our water bottles as we go, or just drink it in the room. Now, I wanted to test the water for you, and so I got 2 water sampling bottles, and this came from a company, Access Analytical, in Irmo, South Carolina. I found them on the internet, and they were right in my back door. But before I leave, on the last day, I'm going to take 2 samples, one of the tap water and one of the Berkey filtered water, and then take those back. Now, it's fairly expensive to run the test. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to afford to do that for all the different things that I want to test for. But the main test I'm going to be going on is whether we get sick or not, whether my wife and I get through this trip without getting sick like one of us normally does. So we're being cautious on what we eat, and also being very careful on what we drink. Okay, our trip is coming to a close, at least our stay in this hotel. And we made excellent use of the Berkey water filter. We only drank water that came out of it, either in water bottles during the day
or making coffee here in the morning. I even brushed my teeth and rinsed the toothbrush out with it. So we tried to not take any chances at all in the water that we drank. And I really do think something is wrong with the tap water. Occasionally, not always, but occasionally we'd get a whiff of a slight smell of sewage in the tap water that would come out. So you really don't want to drink it even if you heat it up, boil it. But we made good use of the Berkey. And the good news is we didn't get sick, either one of us. I do have a head cold, but that had nothing to do with the water quality. It's just a cold that's going around. My daughter and granddaughter and grandson all have it. So one thing I wanted to do was take some water samples back with me. And so that's what these bottles are for. This one I have labeled for tap water. I'm going to take the sample today. And I've kept these sterile. I just took the cap off. I'm going to run some water and let it run just a second. I'm not going to take a full sample, a full bottle. I'm only going to take about a half a bottle. That should be enough. And then I'll seal it immediately. Okay, the other bottle is for Berkey filtered tap water, filtered tap water. I'm going to take that today. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this one-handed or not. Maybe I can. Now it's going to be fairly expensive to have this water tested. And so I'm not sure who's going to do it. I've talked to a couple of labs. That's enough. That's almost a full bottle of the filtered tap water. All right, I'll tighten those down, make sure they're kept sterile, and then pack them away. So there might be a follow-up video when I get back home of having the water tested and actually reporting on the water quality. But I do want to thank Berkey for the water filter. This is the Travel Berkey, just as a reminder. They donated that so that I could make this video, and I do want to thank Berkey. The Berkey isn't going to go back home with us though. Because water quality is such a problem here, I'm going to donate it to my daughter and her family so that they can make use of it and be safe here. Y'all take care and stay tuned for a follow-up video on the water analysis of these two samples. Y'all take care.